Hey there, welcome to Song Drumming Chronicles. My name is Miguel, and today we're continuing our two-part series of how to recognize song sections. Today we're going to be using what's called an A-frame song form, song by the Beatles called Hard Day's Night. So once again, what this is all about is being able to listen to a song and discern, is that the verse, is that the bridge, is that the chorus, whatever section of the song it is, so that you as a drummer can do what's musically appropriate for that, okay? And it's a skill that you have to develop. It can be developed, but you have to work on it. It's a listening skill. And so the idea is today, and you'll notice I have a guitar. It is a drumming video, it's not a guitar video. But what I'm going to do is play little snippets of, actually there's only two sections in this song. There's the verse and there's the bridge. And play those two sections, and I want to have you go off and listen to them, like, have it come up on YouTube, Google, or do a search for Hard Day's Night by the Beatles, and see if you can hear when those two different song sections happen. It's a little more straightforward than a verse-chorus form, at least with this example, because there's only two sections that you have to know. And again, the reason it's important is because I feel strongly that your number two job as a drummer is to know the arrangement better than anybody else in the band, because you are driving the bus that is the band. Okay, your number one job is to keep a steady beat, but your number two job, in my opinion, is to know the arrangement better than anybody. Okay? So what I'm going to do, let me explain what an A-frame is. So an A-frame is kind of a Nashville term for a song that doesn't have a traditional chorus. And there's two ways to think about it. The way I think about it is that the hook for the song, which is the catchphrase, the really memorable thing about the song. In this case, it's the same thing as the title. The words "A Hard Day's Night" are in the verse, and they happen first. That's one way to think about it. And the way I think about it, it's only verses, there's no choruses. Another way to think about it is that the song starts with the chorus. In this case, it's where the hook is, which is Hard Day's Night. But however you think about it, there's no traditional verse, chorus, back and forth. There's only one of those things. I think of it as a verse. And this song, and this is important because there are definitely songs that might confuse you because you keep waiting for a verse or you keep waiting for a chorus and they don't happen. And in this A-frame song form is one of those forms where that traditional verse-chorus relationship doesn't happen. So what I'm going to do is play really quickly a little snippet of what I call the verse that has the hook in it. So again, the way I think of it is an A-frame is no chorus and the hook is in the verses. And I'm going to play a little snippet of the verse and then play a little snippet of the bridge so you get a sense of what those two different song sections are like, and then you go off and listen to them on your own. Okay, so this is the verse. 1, 2, 3. It's been a hard day's night, and I've been sleeping under the dawn. It's been a hard day's night. Okay, so that's what I think of as the verse, and it's the first thing that happens in the song. And then the bridge is kind of a traditional bridge, and again, the words that we call these things are less important. Sometimes it's called the middle eight. In England, it's often called the middle eight, no matter how many measures it lasts. It's called the bridge, it's called the B section. It's more important that you're able to hear it than you're able to, agree on a name on it. So, when I'm home, everything seems to be right. When I'm home. So that's the bridge. And what's cool about this song, Hard Day's Night, is it's basically got two sections that you have to memorize. Okay, and let's look at how they sequence through here. So you've got a verse which has the hook in it. The Hard Day's Night, that's the hook. That's in what I call the verse. So the tune starts out with two verses, verse 1 and verse 2, and then it goes to that bridge that we just played. Then when I'm home, okay, and then you go to a solo, which is over the chord changes for the verse. And then you have a little verse tag and then into a bridge again, okay? So again, the important thing is not so much that you learn to call these things the same name I call them, the little different song sections, but that you're able to hear them with your ears and know when they change and also when they repeat again in the song, because oftentimes what you play in the tune is determined by what song section is going on at the one. So some of you who know this song, Hard Day's Night, are thinking, well, why do I need to know when the verse is, when the bridge is, when Ringo plays the same thing all the way through the song? He plays a pretty standard rock beat with, he doesn't even change the tone and timbre of his hi-hats. It's just sloshy all the way through. They change the overdubs with the bongos and the cowbell, but that stays the same. So the reason it's important is, number one, Ringo had to make an artistic decision about what he was going to play in the verses and in the bridge. Okay, so if he wasn't conscious of what a verse was or what a bridge was, he couldn't make that conscious decision. You cannot approach a song and just say, oh, I'm going to play the same thing all the way through the song no matter what happens. Okay, so number one, you have to know it to make an artistic decision. Number two, a lot of times when you do fills, maybe not necessarily in this particular song, but many times, when you do fills, it's usually the transition between one song section and another. So you got to know when the verses end and when the bridges start and end, so that you can set them up. You can play a fill, might need a fill between a transition from verse 1 to verse 2, or from verse 2 to the bridge, or from the bridge going back into the verse. Okay, so those are two reasons why you need to know the song sections. Even if you're playing the same beat the whole song, you need to make an artistic decision about what's appropriate for each song section. And number two, oftentimes you're going to do fills to set up the next song section as you move from one to the other. Okay? Okay, so now that I've shown you little snippets of the verse and the bridge, and we looked at the arrangement, what I'd like you to consider doing is to listen to this song with this new information. You know, listen on your MP3 player or on YouTube, and you can get it up for free. Listen for these different song sections. So you listen to the tune Hard Day's Night, you listen to, okay, that's the verse, oh, there's the second verse, oh, here's the bridge. And first time through, just kind of recognize them as they happen. But the second time through is really important, because you have to learn to anticipate when these song sections happen, because your job as a drummer is not to observe life and the song as it goes by. Your job is to anticipate what's going by, because oftentimes you need to set that up with a fill or maybe with a different beat. Okay, so listen to it at least a couple times and see if you can learn to anticipate. Okay, here comes verse number 2, and okay, oh, here comes the bridge. Okay, so that you know what's going to happen before it actually happens. Okay, so that's it for today. So the reason this is important is because you as a drummer, if you're playing in a band on drum set in popular song styles, whether it's rock or country or R&B or pop, whatever it is, you need to know the arrangement better than everybody, because you are driving the bus. You are driving the bus that is the band. Okay. And that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in to Song Drumming Chronicles. My name is Miguel, and remember, we don't work drums, we play drums. So have fun when you drum, even when you're on a guitar.